Hello everyone, it's vanburman here. Welcome to today's video. I'm just going to be talking about Rocket League and the whole crate key thing that's been going on, that's come out with the recent update where we got Rumble as well. I think it was in that same batch. And I just really want to talk about DLC as well in general, because I suppose that all of it does sort of fit together in a sense. We've got, some games that force the DLC more upon you in, the sort of vein of you will be left behind if you don't, partake in it. Whereas, and I think actually probably done right, to be fair, with Rocket League more so, purely because, well, for one thing, at least all of the DLC that comes out is purely cosmetic. It's not like it's an extra map pack or it's something that will give you an unfair advantage over other people, whereas if you don't have it, you're therefore at a disadvantage. For example, people don't have stronger boosts or more boost capacity or anything like that that they could put in the game, and obviously therefore give some players more of an advantage. Hence the whole, DLC argument. I'm not really too bothered about when it's just stuff like, different rocket trails, different decals, different cars. I think all that's fine, and quite frankly, I've been more than happy to actually pay money towards a lot of it. I've pretty much got every single DLC car, and I've also got, I've also opened about 10 crates as well. So, I have actually put a lot of money into the game, really, considering the fact that I got it for about £10 on PC and I got it for free on PlayStation 4. So, you don't feel obliged to go and do it, but you want to. And, you want to go out and, have a funky looking car and, get the nice little trinkets and stuff that you can add onto it. However, having said that, we also come into a different realm now where it's more like, people want to trade the different stuff they've been given. Whoops. And it makes, I don't know, it's all the stuff I don't like about things like Dota and CSGO and the stuff I don't like about Killing Floor 2. I just feel like when you've got that sort of marketplace for trails or cars, anything that, even if it is cosmetic, it just sort of brings around, I don't know, a feeling that is not really conducive to playing the game. People are more bothered about almost in-game changing their names so that to say, look, I want crates. If you give me crates, I will trade you some good stuff. And then, that then leads to them, asking you in-game if you've got any crates. And it's quite frankly ludicrous as far as I'm concerned. I just want to be bothered about playing the game. This whole thing should be a side point to it. And I know it is, but it starts creeping in on the actual gameplay. And you're only in 5-minute games. It's not a big, it's not like a, although I guess I can't use that argument because things like Dota and Killing Floor and CSGO are also, quite intense games themselves anyway. But just really a thought that appears. The only thing I'm glad that we haven't seen so far is that you can't actually sell stuff on the Steam marketplace. I think if that came in, I would be a lot more disappointed with it, because at least now we've got some semblance of sanity, whereas as soon as it's put out to, real money marketplace, it makes, it adds a different spin onto it, doesn't it? At the minute, you just want it for having the fanciest looking car, or because you want a special decal, or a special topper, or whatever it happens to be. Got to say, some of the stuff is actually really nice. And I've got no problem with Rocket League trying to make money off the game that way, by releasing new cars, by releasing new trinkets, because at the end of the day, that you want Rocket League to stay viable. You want them to keep updating the game. I mean, I think, I've not played the Rumble mode that much. So actually, I've realised that I'm not actually that interested in it, and I thought I would really enjoy it and be a game mode that I would play quite a lot, but actually I've hardly played it at all. But that's not the point. The fact is, they're making new maps. They've made new modes and themed, like, seasonal things. Like, last year they released all the Christmas stuff, all the Halloween stuff. And that's quite good, It's quite nice to see that in there. Although, yeah, the point I was going to make is that I'm not really keen on Neo Tokyo, and I wish it wasn't a main map, but a lot of people feel this way. So, you have some people that as soon as the game starts and they realise it's Neo Tokyo, they will leave. I've done that before when I'm playing by myself, and if Neo Tokyo comes up, I just go, and I just can't be bothered with it. Then I just leave and find a new match before the game even starts, because it's just not fun on there. If you're playing with people, you can strategically get round the hurdles. You can use the various slopes to your advantage. But when you're playing with a load of just random people, it does become a lot more difficult. You definitely need more coordination in that map than any other. I know it's pretty simple coordination, but everyone does need to be on the same wavelength for that actually to work well. But I digress. Anyway, so I think the DLC is done right in Rocket League, and I do like the way they've gone about it, because in doing that, they've managed to keep the game profitable and keep themselves being able to make money from it, even though, as I say, it only came out as a £15 game, so it's not come out as a full AAA retail price game. And then they've been able to play on, and quite rightly so, the goodwill of the community, because the community wants to have all these different cars and trinkets and, special rocket trails and all that sort of stuff. And they're happy to do it, because they realise that a lot of time and energy has been spent into updating the game, keeping it relevant, keeping it fresh, which is obviously quite a big thing. And when you really enjoy a game and you get a lot out of it for the money that you've put in, the relatively small amount of money that I've put in, you don't mind doing it. You don't mind. And you mind even less because you know that having a special rocket car, or which one do I really like? Actually, I quite like the Breakout, which is free. But the one that looks like an aeroplane. Aftershock, I want to say? I don't know. But anyway, that car looks really cool, but it doesn't give me any advantage while flying. It doesn't have more stability because it's got wings. Although some people do say that the cars do feel slightly different, and I will admit, some cars do feel slightly different in how they turn and stuff in the air, but I don't know how much of that is really relevant, and I don't know if the difference is actually big enough to make any sort of tangible advantage or disadvantage. I just think that it's probably, minute details. The fact that the Merc is a bit more of a blocky shape as opposed to the Breakout that's quite flat. I do think that potentially if the balls come in head on, you're going to have a better chance of just hitting it flat on with the Merc rather than the Breakout. But yeah, other than that, no, I don't have any problem with it. I mean, the stock cars you're given anyway have enough variety and diversity to them, and you can unlock enough toppers and trails and all that sort of stuff just by playing the game without opening any crates. Of course, you do miss out on the premium aspect of it, and, Rocket League are, quite well within their rights to play on that. But, I'm glad to see that DLC is actually done right in that game, or as right as it can be, potentially. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about it. I don't really have a bad word to say about it. I mean, I'm not a big fan, and really gamers aren't a big fan of DLC in general, unless apart from when it's done right. I would say The Witcher's done it right. I would say that Bethesda on the whole have done it right as well. And then, you get other companies come in and just absolutely throw the rulebook out the window. And it's a bit like with Deus Ex. I mean, I'm quite enjoying Deus Ex. This is obviously a bit of a tangent. But, they're to get I want to say, was it Parallax? No. Praxis points to upgrade your character. You can buy them. You can also unlock them by leveling up. Well, unlocking it's not really a level up, but a similar sort of thing. Or you can buy them, and it only stays with that one playthrough as well. So it's not even like anything tangible carries on. Well, it's not something tangible anyway. But that sort of DLC I'm really not a big fan of at all. That would probably be one of the worst kinds of DLC. Unlock extra skill points for a single player game. Quite frankly, a little bit beyond me in that respect. Although, then again, how do you sell DLC? Can you go down the same road as Rocket League? Well, no, you have to sort of go down the same road as The Witcher, and you have to actually release sizable expansions that are worth the money that you're paying for them. £1.49 for a new car is one thing, but trying to sell me 99, well, what is 99p for one skill point is well, a little bit ludicrous, to be fair. You know, you've got to release an expansion for $9.99, $14.99, whatever it happens to be. I mean, the Witcher expansion was absolutely massive. I think, in actual fact, that expansion for The Witcher 3 is probably more of a game in itself than Deus Ex is overall. I know they're different types of games, but in terms of the just pure content that's in it, you know, so that just goes to show you, really. I mean, even still to this day, the Shivering Isles on Oblivion is far more content than you get from a lot of games that release, you know, full price and 100 expansions, and that's with all the DLC. So, yeah, just one of them. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed this video. My voice is starting to go for some unknown reason, so I'm going to leave it there. But I'll see you very soon. If you've got any comments, put them down below. If you want to talk about DLC, everyone loves a good bitch and a moan about that, so hopefully you will all feel the same. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you all next time. Goodbye.